Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. I know I am. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast, number 1642. Tonight we are talking about 10 unusual and delicious food pairings. And these are ones that I actually do eat. Maybe I should actually do a live one time with me showing you how I use these different food pairings together and what they taste like. But these are some of my favorite ones. So it says 10, but I've actually got 12. So we're just giving you a little more. So welcome to everybody that is on Facebook watching us. Welcome to everybody on YouTube that's watching us. And welcome to the TikTok world as well. So great to have everybody here. And thank you all too for all the likes, the loves, and everything else that you give us during the show. I truly, truly appreciate it. So 10 unusual and delicious food pairings. Actually, it's 12. I've actually got a show and tell here, but more about that later. Okay, so the first one I have on my list is avocado and chocolate. Who has tried avocado and chocolate? Oh, and please put in the comments any food pairings that you have. Those of you on TikTok, if you are a subscriber, you will be able to comment. If you're not a subscriber, unfortunately, no, you won't be able to comment. But chocolate and avocado, this is a really cool combination because avocado has such a very, very mild taste. It actually enriches the taste of chocolate. Now, me being a huge chocoholic, anything with chocolate is fine with me. I will eat anything, just about anything with chocolate. But combining chocolate and avocado together in desserts like mousses or brownies can result in a rich and creamy texture. I have actually made brownies with chocolate and avocado in it. I've actually in fact, I made the best brownies ever. They didn't even last 30 minutes out of the oven. They were so good. Brad and I didn't even wait for them to cool down. They just smelled so good. And these were peppermint bean brownies. And in there was chocolate and avocado and black beans. I think was it black beans? Yes, black beans. And there was also a drop of peppermint oil in there as well. So we had these peppermint mint chocolate brownies. They were so good. They came out of the oven and 30 minutes later, they were gone. They were that good. And we just did an 8x8 pan of them. And yeah, I've got to find that recipe because it's a really good one. Although I'll probably end up eating it by myself. But when you mix it up for like mousses and things like that, you get a very creamy, smooth mousse. And it's just wonderful. And oh, I have to tell you, it just tastes really, really good. From one chocoholic to everybody else, chocolate and avocado. It's a great combination. The next one is strawberries and balsamic vinegar. People are going to go, balsamic vinegar? Yeah, balsamic vinegar with strawberries. It, especially when it's reduced to the syrupy consistency. You know how when you put strawberries in a bowl, you slice up your strawberries and stuff, put them in a bowl, and most people will like sprinkle sugar over it and maybe put it in the fridge for a little bit. I actually sprinkle balsamic vinegar over and then put it in the refrigerator, and it still makes that syrup, but just not without the sugar. The sugar comes naturally from the strawberries. And I've used it on top of salads. I've used it in fruit salads. I have eaten them by themselves. They are just really, really good. Speaking of balsamic vinegar, I like to do sliced cucumber and sliced tomatoes and put them on a dish and just and I might put mozzarella cheese in between them as well. I make these little stacks. I get a beef tomato, which is the big round ones, slice them horizontally across the tomato, and then you put the tomato on the bottom, and then a slice of mozzarella cheese, a slice of mozzarella cheese, I'd put a slice of cucumber there, then a tomato, then the cheese, and then I keep building that all the way up until all the slices are used, and then I put a stalk of rosemary down the middle, and then I drizzle it with olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Oh, so good. So good. But yeah, strawberries and salt. My mouth is watering. Strawberries and balsamic vinegar, absolutely amazing together. Cheddar cheese and apple pie. Now, this is probably one that you probably won't think about, but a slice of sharp cheddar cheese on a warm slice of apple pie creates a different balance between sweet and savory. And the cheese sharpness contrasts nicely with the sweetness and tartness of apples. Now, another type of cheese that I like on apple pie is mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone is a great substitute for ice cream if you don't want to do ice cream with all the sugar and everything in. There is a restaurant in LA in Santa Monica there that's in the big mall that's right there on Pico. Can't remember the name of the restaurant. It was right there at the front. I don't know if it's still there, but they would do an English toffee pudding, which is a steamed cake, basically a steamed cake dessert, and they would put a scoop of mascarpone of cheese on top of it. Oh my gosh, that was just amazing. And I put mascarpone cheese on anything that's hot because it kind of it holds its shape and it melts it just a little bit, but that flavor that you get, whew. So yeah, cheddar cheese on apple pie. I've also done mascarpone cheese on apple pie. Instead of cream and ice cream, I use mascarpone cheese. Peanut butter and bacon. Now, people probably won't even think of this, but if you've got a creamy or crunchy bacon, I prefer creamy. With crispy, salty bacon, it creates a rich, satisfying blends of flavors and textures, and you've got that balance there with it. Putting it in sandwiches or as a burger topping, yum. It is just a really amazing combination when you put it into a sometimes I use peanut butter on my burger instead of something like mayonnaise or ketchup. I will put peanut butter on there instead. Completely different flavor, but oh, it is so good. So good, so good. And then there's another combination that I will put on there too, but we'll talk about that one later because that's coming up at the end. Olive oil and ice cream. Drizzling a small amount of high quality extra virgin olive oil over vanilla ice cream adds a subtle fruity flavor. It is often paired with a sprinkle of sea salt to enhance the taste. And yes, I have tried. Some of these things I found in magazines and stuff, and I thought, let's give it a try. When it comes to some foods, I am out there ready to give it a try. And this one here, it's sort of like, because if I see things written down, I can almost taste it on my tongue. When I see a recipe, I was given a recipe one time by a woman who was we thought she was a nutritionist. Turned out she wasn't. And she sent me over, these are the ingredients we need for our recipes tonight. And I went, okay. And I'm looking at this and go, so where's the flavor in this? She says, what do you mean? I said, this is bland on top of bland on top of bland. It ain't going to taste good. And she's like, oh, no, it'll taste really good. And she kept telling us she was French that, well, we eat a lot of bland food like this. And I'm like, I don't think so. All the French people I know, they like the rich flavored food. So this was an interesting exercise. But anyway, olive oil over ice cream. If you drizzle a little bit over vanilla ice cream, put some Himalayan salt on top of that. Yum. It just gives a little extra something to the vanilla ice cream. Blue cheese and dark chocolate. I will eat dark chocolate with just about anything. Blue cheese, absolutely amazing. You've got the bold, tangy flavor of the blue cheese with the rich, slightly bitter taste of dark chocolate, and it's just amazing. And I have melted the two together. I've put them on cheese platters together. They quite often end up on my charcuterie boards. When I do charcuterie boards, I'll have different types of cheese, and I'll have the cheeses in a ring, and then in the middle I'll have some dark chocolate, slices of dark chocolate instead of crackers. I use dark chocolate instead of crackers, but it has to be. I use 88. About 75 to 80% cacao is what I use for my dark chocolate. The 65 still a little too sweet, but if you get up to the 75 to 80, you get more of that bitter taste coming through, and it pairs well with dog hair. You give me. It pairs well with a lot of things that way, with that higher count of cacao in there. And I've done 90% as well. So that's another one that I like. Watermelon and feta cheese. This here, I have to tell you, I have chopped up just straight watermelon, just regular watermelon, and thrown it together with some feta cheese, sprinkled a little balsamic vinegar over there, made a beautiful, refreshing summer salad. You've got the combination of the sweet and juicy watermelon with the salty crumble of the feta cheese, creates that refreshing flavor contrast. And in the middle, for summertime when it's hot, I have to tell you, that is a very refreshing salad to have. And it's commonly found in summer salads. Yeah. Sometimes I would just eat it by itself with the watermelon and the feta cheese together with a little bit of olive oil drizzled over it. Or I have been known to drizzle some melted chocolate over top as well. can I say? I'm just, or balsamic vinaigrette is another one. Balsamic vinegar is another one that I've put over top of that as well. I've also done it with olive oil and fresh mint chopped up and mixed in there too. So sometimes I'll incorporate it into a summer salad, and other times I'll make a salad by itself with the chopped up watermelon, the feta cheese, some balsamic vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, and some mint thrown in there as well, fresh mint. I have to tell you, fresh mint is amazing. Oh, I just love to chew on it. Another one, which people will probably go at, is pineapple and blue cheese. You got the sharp, pungent taste of blue cheese, and it complements the sweet and acidic flavor of pineapple. And it can be used in salads, on pizza. And yes, I have used this one on pizza. I get the pita bread and make my own little individual pizzas that way. And put both of them on there. And of course, when I do my pizza with pineapple and blue cheese, it also gets a little bit of Canadian bacon thrown on there, a little bit of spinach, drizzled with some olive oil. Really cool. Really, really yummy. Coffee and orange. Now, I've done orange tea, which is really cool. And I have also done coffee and orange. And it's just taking some orange zest and a little bit of orange juice into the coffee can bring out its natural flavors and actually give you a very rich flavored coffee. And it will change the taste of your coffee a little bit as well. Where did I first try that? I was on a cruise ship. Might have been on Celebrity because they have the cafe there. And I always get the package that includes the juices, the soda, the specialty coffees, the specialty teas. And so whenever I came back from being on a shore excursion, I would stop off at the cafe and just relax with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or whatever. And I think that might have been where I first tried coffee and orange, but it's really good. And then here comes the dark chocolate. You get those chocolate sticks and just stir your coffee with the chocolate sticks so it melts and blends in with the coffee. Really, really yummy. So that's another one. Now, this one I have not tried simply because it is spicy and I don't do spicy food. But I have a lot of friends who love spicy chili and chocolate. They incorporate a small amount of dark chocolate into a spicy chili recipe and can add depth and complexity to the dishes. The chocolate's richness balances the heat and enhances the overall flavor profile. I am a wimp when it comes to spicy food. My husband always say, "Oh, this." He says, "I can't taste any spice in this at all. You'll be fine with that." I get there and I'm like, then just one mouthful, and I'm like guzzling down gallons and gallons of water. So he's sort of like, "Oh, but it's not that spicy. Why are you going?" And he gets all upset because I would have this major reaction. I says, "I have no spice tolerance, zero spice tolerance." He's like, "Oh, okay." So he says, "If it doesn't taste spicy to me, but there's spicy stuff in it, you'd probably feel." I went, "Yeah, I have zero spice tolerance. I am not a spicy person when it comes to food." All right, one of my other ones, and I went and got this because I needed to show you the size can. This is a 12-ounce can of tuna. I use a 12-ounce can of tuna with the same size container of cottage cheese. So it's a 1-for-1 mix. And I mix the tuna, and I'll tell you, it does not look very appetizing when you mix it. So when you put the tuna fish with the same size of cottage cheese, you mix them. They've got to be equal portions. And then you throw in there some Worcestershire, what's that? Everybody knows the Worcestershire sauce. That sauce. A few drops of that with a few drops of Bragg's amino acids, and mix it all up. And you put it on crackers, and you put sliced tomato on top. Yum. It does not look the most appetizing when it is mixed together, when you've got cottage cheese and tuna. And if you know the color of tuna, you know the color of cottage cheese, it ain't going to look very pretty. But I tell you, the taste buds will love it. And when I was back in the Air Force many years ago, that was my go-to whenever we had to bring a plate for whatever we were doing. I would always get these meal mate crackers, which are these really yummy crackers we have in New Zealand, and they have all these little seeds and stuff in them. And I would put a spread of butter on top, put some of this on top, put some tomato, a sliced tomato on top, sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper on top, put them on plates. Boom, they were gone. As soon as the thing was uncovered and people were allowed in there and they were allowed to eat, those things went like crazy. And I always got asked, "Are you bringing them? Are you bringing them? Are you bringing them?" Yes. So that was one of the favorite dishes. And I have to tell you, people went crazy for that stuff. They really did. It was amazing. And so when I made it, first time I made it over here, Brad looked at it very skeptically, and I went, "Try it." I says, "Just try it." And I put it on a cracker. We used saltine crackers, and I put on saltine cracker for him, and Gavin says, "Just try it." And he's like, "Okay." So he tried, and he goes, "That actually is not too bad." So you want some more? He's like, "Yes, please." He said, "It doesn't look very appetizing." I says, I know, it doesn't look very appetizing." And then my last unusual food pairing. This is Marmite. It is a New Zealand staple. Most households in New Zealand, you will find a jar of Marmite there. This is like my favorite. It is, what is in this thing? It is basically, it's got all these B vitamins in there, so it's very good for energy. It has, it's been produced it says on the label, produced right here in New Zealand. You've loved it for over 100 years. And I'm like, okay, I ain't that old, but I've loved it half my lifetime. Yes, okay, I agree with that. All of my lifetime. Let's see. Does it actually have what the ingredients are in this thing on it? No, but I believe it is made with brewers. It's some sort of yeast thingy. And I will tell you this, it has a very meaty flavor to it. So I actually use it to marinate some meat in it, and it cooks really, really good and gives the meat a very intense meat flavor. But it's black. And it's very different to the British Marmite. British Marmite is liquid. This is not. This is solid. So it's actually a very, very, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's actually a very, very dark brown. It is salty. That's the flavor. Vegemite is the Australian version of Marmite. And Vegemite to me is too salty. My dad loves Vegemite. I love Marmite. This has more of a meaty flavor to it. Yes, it does taste a little salty. The best way to eat this, actually, there's a couple of best ways to eat it. One of the best ways to eat this is on hot toast, buttered, and then you put Marmite on top of the butter. And the mixture of the butter and the Marmite together is really good. But one of my favorite ways to have it when I was at school, Mum would make Marmite sandwiches, is I would also want a bag of potato chips. And then I would peel the bread apart with my Marmite on the inside, and I would put my potato chips in there. And that was like the best combo. That was when I first started combining foods. And some of you who know what Marmite tastes like are probably going to go, ooh. But I love this stuff. It has an expiration date on it, but it doesn't really expire. I believe it's made from brewers. I'm trying to remember what Marmite is. Yeah, this expired in like 2020. It still tastes good. I think they had to put expiration dates on Marmite simply because food stuff's required expiration dates on them. Okay. There you go. Hot toast with some butter. But I will also put that with cheese. If I've got to make a Marmite sandwich, I might put some sliced cheese on there. It doesn't matter which type of cheese. They all taste good with Marmite. Just like chocolate tastes good with any cheese. I haven't tried the two of them with chocolate, though. I haven't tried Marmite and chocolate. I might have to try that one. So those are just some of the unusual but delicious food pairings of things that I have and things I could think of. And this Marmite is, yeah, really good. I wonder what it would be like with avocado. I haven't tried it with avocado. That would make it interesting. Another one I do with peanut butter is cheese. Peanut butter and cheese sandwiches is another one that I do. That I have. Here we go. Got it all now, I think. Zeffie turned her nose up at it the other day. I put a little bit on my little finger and gave it to her, and she just sort of like reached out to sniff it and then just was like immediately just pulled away. She does the same with peanut butter as well. My dog does not like peanut butter. So those are just some of the crazy food pairings that I do. I will also make up one of my favorite things to do when I was in the Air Force. I get to go to lunch early when I was working in the recreation library. And there was a group of us that would meet up for lunch around 11:30. And that was when the mess opened. And so I would go down the cold salad area, and they'd have cold meats and they'd have all the salad stuff. And I would make up a cold meat salad sandwich. And then I would get something like a pear or an apple or kiwi fruit, anything that could be sliced, any fruit that could be sliced. And I would put that on my sandwiches as well. And people were like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm like, "What? I'm just combine." So yeah, I've been combining different food things, and people would look at me sideways and go, "What the heck have you got on that sandwich?" And shortbread. I love dipping shortbread in honey. It's another one of my favorite food pairings is to dip shortbread in honey. Tastes really, really good. Yes, I've had all sorts of comments about that one. But anyway, those are just some of the crazy food things that I put together where people look at me sideways and go, are you sure about that? And I go, yeah. And I've managed to convert some people to some of the things that I have, some of the combinations that I do. But I will tell you, peanut butter and bacon sandwich, really good, especially if it's hot bacon, bacon buddies. In New Zealand, we have what's called chip butties, and that's where you take 2 slices of bread, you put butter on each one, and then in the middle you put hot chips, hot fries in the middle there, and put it together. Maybe put some Spotty's tomato sauce in there, and you got yourself a really good chip buddy. So that's what we call it. But anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. Everybody go out and have a super fantastic sparkling evening. And if you've got some favorite food pairings that I did not mention that you really like, that you find totally delicious. Oh, Marmite and lettuce sandwiches. That was another one I used to have. You can come up with combinations all day. Let us know in the comments below if you've got anything, any food pairings that are unusual that you like. Maybe we'll do some taste testing, or maybe we'll get on a live one day in the kitchen and create some of these combinations so you can actually see them, or even be brave and go try them for yourselves. But that's it. We're out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.